Yo, this right here is single-handedly the best quality of life change in the entire patch. Yo, what is up guys? I'm here hitting you up with a new video. Today we talk about Nahor and Fuqiu, who to summon for and who to not. But before we jump into this one, I want to show you something that was not mentioned in the patch notes and whatever. Once you are now in the battle screen where you can actually start battling, you can now actually press this button right here and you can change your unit's gear from this window. Right? Amazing! If you didn't know that, leave a like on this video. Now, quick thing in eigener Sache, we got the 2x Blessing Galore event this weekend. I uploaded a Blessing Galore guide for this weekend already up on my channel, as you can see here. I will also link it in the comments down below so you can check it out. Make sure to watch this video so you know what you want to do for this weekend and that you are prepared. Now, let's kick things off with Nahor, the blue control unit we are getting. He has max leveled 122 base speed with 15 extra on his S1. His S1 is a 40% chance to let a defense break when he is upgraded, and at level 5 it is turns from a 1-turn defense break to a 2-turn defense break. His S2 has the ability to completely strip all the buffs from the target, but only with a 70% chance. Also keep in mind this is also upgraded as well, and probably he only strips 1 or 2 buffs without any skill ups unless you get him to level 3. And then his debuff, the last one, his AoE defense break and freeze. He hits all enemies for 300% damage and then inflicts a defense down and a freeze with a respectively 60% chance and a 40% chance to freeze. Once you skill it up, you get to 70% and to 50%. And once you get him to level 5, this cooldown will go from 5 to 4. Now, who does want a Nahor? Like, the thing with Nahor really is currently in this game is people who do not have a clause right now. People without a clause, Nahor is now a really great target because with him you get a unit which you're lacking before, and that is AoE defense break, and also that extra freeze is nice to have with him. So definitely if you do not have a clause, you might want to get him. Now, outside of the fact that if you do not own clause, do you want him even if you have a clause? My opinion right now with the game, with the lattices we have, he has one more use, I think, which is not, you should not overlook it, but it's still a little bit more specific, and that is Doki Doki Inferno with him. Because in Doki Doki Inferno he solves a problem which you have right now, because you're splitting up, especially when you're trying to speedrun. You have the clause in one slot and then you have your Casio, for example, at the other slot for the sleep, right? No, you have to use 2 units. Now with the Nahor, now you solve that slot and you can now replace 2 units with 1 unit, which opens up a new slot for a different unit up in your team if you're trying to speedrun Doki Doki Inferno. Now this is a nice use. Outside of that, even though it's nice to have a Dispel which can cleanse all, but you need to get up to level 3 first, I think this is a little more interesting for Phantom Theater, for the Light Wolf, because then you can actually, because they have like a lot of buffs, right? With this one, you can actually strip all the buffs from that Light Wolf and then inflict a block on it. But to be honest, I feel like unless if you don't have a clause, then go get him. But outside of that, if you have clause, I feel like he is more of a skippable unit right now. You don't necessarily need him, especially since we are getting a double SSR banner. I don't think he provides anything in particularly well, even for the PvP side of the game. He can be good there, but also with the current meta game and stuff like that, with Bulwark, with cleansing and everything so on, I feel like he is not right now the best. Maybe another option for RTA, but yeah, in terms of PvP and where you want to strive for, if you don't have claws, get him. If you don't have claws, consider him a skip. The next unit we have is Fuqiu. Fuqiu is more or less the premium Valerian version. So how does she work? Let's look at her S1 again. So basically, after she does her S1, she randomly turn meter buffs 2 units in your team for 10% once this is also skilled up, so it's probably 8% or something like that. And then she has the passive ability Brocade. Each time an enemy ends their turn, if Fuqiu does not have Moonlit Veil, increases her turn meter by 8%, and if she already has Moonlit Veil, reduce her turn meter by 8%. The thing is, she wants to cast her as free and stuff like that, so she applies the Moonlit Veil because that is where the healing and the turn meter buffing, the speed buffing comes in really with her. And if she has it active, she will be pushed back because she does not want to gain turns, because she kind of wants to help out her teammates, and when she doesn't have it, she wants more turns. That's how basically how she works. And the Moonlit Veil buff is at the end of their, like, all allies trigger Moonlit Veil at the end of the turn after taking damage, increasing the turn meter by 12%. This is, in my opinion, giga strong, because after taking damage, this is basically an inbuilt Strife effect. That is really strong. Now, if you want to combine it even with Strife, now after getting hit, you're now getting 22% turn meter, which is a lot. Like, you can either combine it with a Strife and get more, or you just have an inbuilt Strife effect, plus you're getting the heal, right? And this effect can only trigger once per turn, and she doesn't gain turn meter when it's her turn, right? Then we have her S2. Her S2 hits the enemy for 3 times and deals damage equal to 10% of her max HP to a single enemy, with each hit triggering Moonlit Veil 1 time for the ally with the lowest HP. Now, this is where you kind of, like, later down the line, you want to get her to like level 4 at least, because then she has a 100% chance, because she triggers it 3 times when you have it at 100%. Now you get that effect of 3 times, which basically triggers that here 3 times, and like, especially with the healing, the burst healing. If you saw the trailer with the Doki Doki, that's really good for your units. And then with her S3, she provides a shield for 2 turns equal of 20% of her max HP, upgraded 24%, and applies a 2-turn Moonlight Veil on herself, and applies a 2-turn speed to all other allies. Now, she also has a speed buff, which is used. She gives you shield, she gives you speed buff, and she gives you the Moonlit, basically that inbuilt Strife effect with healing. She is a fantastic unit. She will be my pull target. She's also just another option for you to basically have support in your team if you don't want to necessarily run Valerian. Like, her kit is really great. I feel like you can combine her ideally like with a Halloween or something like that, where she just reduces her own cooldowns over time. This would be a good option. There are also other options. Then you play her with like block buff and stuff like that, or time weave. There are cool combinations you can do with her, and she's basically very easy to build, because it's the same way with Valerian. She doesn't need much speed. Maybe just a turn 1 would be good, where she has, I wouldn't make her too slow, to be honest. A decent speed, I would say. Not too fast, not too slow, because at the end of the day, she also needs to get a turn first to apply her S3. So you can't go in with just 10 speed, because otherwise you can't get that effect off, and you want to make sure you have that effect. So I think around like 200 speed, maybe a little bit lower than that, is fine for her. Like, very incredible unit. Just provides you another different option for sustain, and especially when there are multiple team setups you need to run. And I also believe that she's a very good unit, generally speaking, without any lattice investments, which is quite nice. And especially for people who don't have the fastest speeds right now in the game. Right now you don't have multiple, like, I would say 300 speed sets or 280 sets or whatever you might be at the end of the day. She might be a really good unit for you right now if you're liking the speed, and that she helps you just getting more turns because you're not fast enough. So you can cycle through your turns a little bit faster, and that, like, boss stuff do not lap you. That's for that. I personally will target Fuqiu. I don't know if I will summon for Nahor. Gotta wait and see. But my general advice for you guys is, if you do not have claws, go for Nahor just to get the AoE defense break and the freeze. If you already have claws, then rather go for Fuqiu, for example. And outside of that, what you also still can do is just wait for reviews to come in. Let us content creators and other people pull the units first. Let us test the units, and then you can see whoever character performs well or does not perform at all, and then based on that you can decide which character you want to pull. So it's at the end of the day, this banner this time lasts for 3 weeks and not 12 days anymore, so you have a lot more time to make a decision and you're good to go. Now guys, if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. I really appreciate it, and see you with the next one. Deuces.